Hey, good morning. Welcome to the CGS Biblecast. So glad you joined us. We're starting a new book today. We are flying through stuff, I realize it, but we're going to be in Ezekiel today. And I'm excited because this is a really cool book. There's some really great things and some interesting stories in this book. In fact, he's a creative preacher. And so I've done a few messages in my life where I've thought, this is a pretty creative message. I've been punched in the face. I've thrown an Xbox across the room and destroyed it right as I was giving it away to a kid. That was kind of sad now that I think about it. But yeah, I've done some interesting messages, but nothing like Ezekiel. Listen, he's had some interesting things. First, there's three parts to this book. The first part is a message of doom. The second part, he's warning against foreign influences and basically warning them not to water down their faith by outside forces, basically saying, just be a Jew, be a good Jew, and follow the Lord's commands. And the last part is a message of hope, which is so important because he really focuses so much on negativity and the doom and the sin that's in their lives and in their communities and how they need to get that out. But he spent 22 years as a street preacher in Babylon, where many of the Jews were exiled after Jerusalem and Judah fell. But he had some object lessons, like I mentioned. One of these included lying on his side for 390 days, and he only ate 1/8 ounce of food a day, cooked. That's not weird enough. Cooked over manure. Right? That's crazy. In fact, yeah. You should read that story. There's some details in there that are quite interesting. He also shaved his head and beard. It's a total youth pastor move. And then but when his wife died, another thing is the Lord told him not to show any sorrow. And yeah, so that was one of the ways he was able to teach about what he believed, was by showing no sorrow when his wife died. I guess he knew, what her outcome was. So we get comfort from that as well. But so when he's called, though, is a really, really unique experience. And it's one of those moments in your life where you know something really big is happening. Maybe you've experienced this, where you kind of sit up and pay close attention. Maybe it's during a message in church, or it wake you up in the middle of the night with this revelation from the Spirit. And so this is a big moment. And you stay fully engaged mentally, physically, and spiritually because you don't want to miss anything. Well, God's call in Ezekiel's life was one of these monumental moments. Fully aware of what's going on, Ezekiel was overcome by God's presence that he was so overcome that he fell to his face to the ground. And as God's Spirit stood him up, and we can see here that he's being prepared to receive a very important message, one that begins with God addressing him as Son of Man, which is it's pretty reverent wording that's reserved for the Lord. But of course, we see that he is a son of man here. Although odd, it's almost distant sounding. God referred to Ezekiel as this to remind him that he was set apart to declare a life-altering message to Israel, a difficult and daunting task that would be definitely ill-received. Yet, this assures that Ezekiel is that it was a God-given responsibility for him to carry out this calling. And let's look at this. So verse 28, chapter 1, all around him was a glowing halo, like a rainbow shining in the clouds on a rainy day. This is what the glory of the Lord looked like to me. When I saw it, I fell face down to the ground. I heard someone's voice speaking to me, "Stand up, Son of Man," said the voice. "I want to speak with you." The Spirit came into me as he spoke, and he set me on my feet. I listened carefully to his words. It's just a moment of like, all right, Lord, you have all of my attention here. Now, as Christ followers, we too have been set apart and tasked with the responsibility that isn't always easy. But just as God instructed Ezekiel, he wants us to show and share his love with the world. We may not directly receive like this incredible moment where we're face down on the ground and the Lord picks us up and speaks to us through his Spirit, and it's super clear. But we've all experienced a life change through Christ, and it's so important that we really need to be sharing about this. It's a responsibility that I believe that every believer has, is to share the good news with others. So all we need to do this is our own story. We must tell what Jesus has done in our own lives with intentionality. We have to share our testimonies, share the stories of what Christ has done, and not be super weird. I'll add that. Let's not be super weird about this. Let's just not go up to people and create awkward conversations in places where people don't have time to listen to you. This is a relational moment, and as you have built rapport and relationship with people, you'll know when the right time is to share your testimony. I think it's so much better when there is love and there is relational, I'll say a relational investment that's already there. That's the groundwork has already been laid. So today, be aware of his presence and praise him on bended knee. Then stand up and listen carefully as he speaks into your heart. He might be preparing you for this incredible, huge moment, a chance to bring Christ's light into someone's darkness, for you to share his magnificent love with others. So I'm praying that today that you'll be able to find those opportunities and step up, share the opportunities, build rapport with people, build relationship, invest in their lives, and then share Jesus with them. I hope you have a wonderful day and you share Jesus with somebody today. Talk to you later.